So tell me, are you ever worried that you're gonna wreck doing these videos? So what did you learn as a landlord?
Being a landlord was one of the greatest educational experiences of my life. I was 23 years old. I bought a 4-unit building. I was my own real estate agent, bought a building, and so 4 units I just started renting out to people. Now 3 of the units were already rented, so I moved in and became the 4th tenant. And as I was living there, first lesson I ever learned was don't ever live with your tenants, ever. The reason why is because if a light bulb goes out or if something happens, whatever, immediately you are the person who caused that. So they want you to drop everything that you're doing and go and fix whatever. It could be bees outside, it could be an ant. Anyway, my curtains are not moving good enough, whatever it is, that's bad news. The second thing that I learned was how important it is to do your research and background checks on people that you're going to be doing long-term business with. I was 23 years old and I rented out to this man who was about 50 years old. And he came to me and he had a family, seemed like the nicest dude on the planet. He said he was a Eucharistic minister at a church that I knew very well. I actually went to the same church. And I'm blown away. This guy looking for a place, seems like a great guy, said he'll pay right away. How could I not believe him? I mean, I'm this young kid. I'm willing to give this guy a shot. He seems like a great guy. How could a Eucharistic minister screw me over? Well, it turns out this man got into the property, and on day 1, okay, so he paid for the first month. Day 1, I knew that there was something up. He just seemed a little bit weird. He moved in, and I knew there was something weird about this guy. I can't put my finger on it, but there was something about him. The way he didn't even go to work. And if he went to work, there was no set schedule, yet he said he worked 9 to 5 places. His story just didn't make any sense on anything that he did. And then comes time for month 2, for his first payment, basically. And 1 day late turns into 2 days late, turns into 3 days late, and he doesn't pay. And I say, hey Bill, why are you late, man? This is your 2nd month. Oh, I'm having a real hard time with this, and this. Please give me a shot. You know, I'll get it to you. And here I am, willing to give this guy a shot. So that turns into 2 months goes by, turns into 3 months goes by, and that's whenever I have to just get crazy and go after him and say, listen, you're obviously lying to me, something's up. And you're gonna push me to a point where I have to evict you, and I don't wanna do that. I'm a young kid, you have a family, the last thing I wanna do, please just pay me for the months that you owe me. Anyway, I think it was 4 months into it, I go and I get him, go to the court, and I file papers to get him either, scared for eviction. I get in there and the judge looks at the piece of paper and he says, are you kidding me? We've been looking for this guy for years. We've been looking for this guy for years. Is he in your place right now? And I say, yeah, he's in my place, probably in the apartment, just sitting there. And he says that this guy has been writing bad checks all over the state of Pennsylvania. Most likely it's just all in Pittsburgh, but all over the state of Pennsylvania. And people have been looking for him to sue him for years. And that's when the light bulb went off. I said, listen, I just got conned by the ultimate con man. This man has been screwing people over. What are the chances of me ever getting this money back? And I'm just scraping by the way. I'm 23. This is most of my income. This is my first year or 2 in the business. And it's scary how much that people will lie to your face because they know the rules. And let me explain that part. He knew that it took 4 or 5 months to even get to the point of eviction. And he knew the state of Pennsylvania's laws for being a landlord or being a tenant, and he knew landlord law very well. So he knew certain things could happen and nothing would ever happen to him. He couldn't even get evicted till a certain month. Then, when push comes to shove, if anything ever did happen, he would never ever have to worry about paying the money back. Because landlord law in Pennsylvania says if he doesn't show up to court to ever contest it, I could never go after him for damages. And so after months and months and months, his parents, I mean, this guy was 45, 50 years old. His parents were 80 years old, calling me, crying on the phone. We don't know whatever happened to him. We just want to make sure the grandkid is okay. Can you please take my money and keep them living there? And I took the money for 1 or 2 months to allow them to live there a little longer. And it just never worked out. But the guy lied to me over and over and over again. And it taught me, if I was ever to do work with anybody ever again, do your research, do your background checks, never trust anyone for face value. After a certain amount of time of doing business with them, then you can trust them. But it takes a long time. And if you get screwed over, and that wasn't the first time, it was actually the second time I ever got screwed over, it got me out of the landlord game. And it taught me another lesson, which if you're ever gonna be an investor in real estate, what you really should do is hire a property manager. You don't want any emotional attachment to the property itself. Remember, you invest to make money. You're not investing to make friends. You're investing to build your wealth. You could make friends along the way. The last thing you want to do is be tied emotionally to either getting someone out or getting someone in. And so if you ever were to invest in a property on your own, I would think about putting enough money down. And I didn't have a lot of money, so I did an FHA loan, which is a first-time home buyer loan. Put 3% down, which is just enough to buy the property and to just make ends meet if all the tenants paid. And when one tenant doesn't pay, you basically lose money. So do your research on people before you ever rent out a spot for them. Trust them after they prove themselves to you. And never get emotionally invested into an investment that you cannot control.
Out of all the big social media stars, who do you look up to the most?
Good question. I would say Grant Cardone. And the reason why is because what he sells, what he teaches is repeatable. I tend to always migrate towards people who have repeatable and actionable steps. Now, people complain about how all he does is sell programs and tools and resources and software and programs and events. But everything he's doing is he's giving people something to use for their life. It's not high-level motivational stuff only. It's actionable real estate tips, sales tips, entrepreneurial advice. Now, a couple other people I look up to, obviously, are the Ed Miletts, Patrick Bet-Davids. These are two other rock stars in their industries. But Grant Cardone, if you watch his stuff, everything that he's teaching, you could apply right away. And if you had money, you can invest with him in the real estate. That's super smart to have some type of advice that you're giving, that you have a vehicle. He helps people build the vehicle. There are some people that are teaching advice that it's just not scalable without joining their organization, without joining their MLM or their financial service business. But Grant's advice is really just do it on your own or join a sales force to do it. You can do it anywhere. So I love the people who offer stuff that's repeatable, scalable in any industry, and it's not just the motivational hype, it's actionable steps and tools. And we try to do the exact same thing with istartedfromzero.com. Free advice you could use anywhere, whether it's how to become an Amazon bestseller or documentary on success or the V-books that we offer. It gives people real deal information that they can use everywhere. And if they joined up, had their own book done and everything, they can be a part of it also and make money. So it's just repeatable, scalable, and that's why I love what Grant Cardone does.
Where did you come up with the idea for Started From Zero, the whole logo?
Oh, yeah. Started From Zero is the phrase that changed my life. And it happened by accident. It's weird how the greatest ideas you ever have are not on purpose. They're unintentional. What happened was I was starting to search around and just compare myself to my competitors and the people out there who were doing something similar with the book writing service. And you could find out pretty easily where a lot of people either come from money or come from connections or resources or different generations of business, and I had to differentiate myself. And what I said one time was, yeah, so my name is Mike Fallat, and just to let you know, I built this business and I started from zero. And that phrase all of a sudden started to resonate with people online. People said, whoa, I love that idea, man. Started from zero, that's cool. That's how I did it too. How did you build it from zero? And then I started teaching people a little bit about building it from nothing. And that was my call sign, you know, starting something from nothing. If that's part of your story and you put it out there, people will catch on pretty easily and say, oh, either I'm like you or I'm not. Now, I'm not saying anybody who did not start from zero is a bad guy or anything along those lines. It's just my way of differentiating people. It's simple, it's clean, it's effective, and it just tells a story in itself. And that's what I tell people all the time, is simplicity always wins. If you could say something about your past, what you know a lot about, or who you are, in a few words, that's either gonna fire people up or turn people off. But you really wanna fire people up. And simplicity is part of my DNA. It's part of our code in all the businesses that I'm a part of. Simplicity. What's simple gets done. If you look at our logo, it's simple, black and white. White text, black background. White text, black background. Very simple. Started from zero. And it's not just about where you come from, it's about where you're going. So that's why the podcast becomes Zero to Hero. Because if you start somewhere, you gotta be going somewhere also. You don't wanna stay where you are. You wanna go further every day. And that's why it's becoming the hero of your story. So simplicity, differentiating myself, and wanting to tell a little bit about myself without too much energy behind it is what caused me to trademark the phrase, put it on apparel, and people fell in love with it. And when people start to fall in love with it right away, you know you're onto something. And that's how it all began.
So rumor has it they're making a new Magic Mike movie, and I hear you're the star in it.
Thought I told you not to tell anybody about that. Sean, cut this off. Cut.